Alright, welcome back to we Kate of NCCL Season 6. Okay, so let's start this off with an important notice. I forgot to change this before I do it. I'm very professional, you see. We got a new Mon. Say goodbye to the mustache man. Unfortunate, I love Probo Packs. And say hello to this thing. It's pretty ugly. But it's a new friend, and in fact, it's going to be very important this match. So, let's talk about it. This week's match is against Decker and the Virginia Escavaliers. Yes. And his team is very scary. It's got Mega Scizor, Rillaboom, Tapu Koko, Volcanion, Terrakion, Landorus T, Umbreon, Slowking, Muck, and Furfrou. Now, two big things. I forgot what they were. Oh yes. Since our ground type is Crocodile, Tapu Koko can just kind of run dual stab and be unresisted, except for like Roselia and the new Mon Shedinja. So as long as he doesn't run Brave Bird or Acrobatics specifically for this Shedinja, we should be able to evolve it pretty well. I hope Tapu Koko does not run Brave Bird or Acrobatics. I'm telling the world this so that it doesn't do that, because that way Shedinja is a free switch into it. Alright, let's talk. So Shedinja is X-Scissor, Poltergeist, Swords Dance, and Toxic. It also has max speed, so that it can outspeed uninvested Umbreon and hit it with a big X-Scissor. Shedinja is here, and I don't know if it's going to do well. I have no clue. Shedinja is a very polarizing Pokemon. You either go start the game 5 to 6, or you basically wall half their team. There is no in between. Speaking of which, no in between, we got Mixed Infernape with Overheat, U-Turn, Slack Off, and Close Combat. This thing is here because it resists Bullet Punch and is fast, and also there is basically no good switch into Overheat and U-Turn and Close Combat on this team, other than like bulky Volcanion, and even then it can't really switch into Close Combat. And if my memory serves, Life Orb Overheat does like 67% or something to bulky Landorus, so yeah. There's also Speed Ties Terrakion, which could come in handy in a clutch situation. We also have Mega Dude Bro here. First of all, this team has a lot of physical breakers. It's got Scizor, which U-turn, so it's not really good against, which is good against Bro. So Rillaboom, Tapu Koko. Volcanion, that's the Mon that Slowbro can switch into. Can take hits from Specs thanks to this Spadef we invested. But really it's just here for Terrakion. And even then, SD with Megahorn is a very scary set. And we don't kill it with Scald, which is worrisome to say the least. But we do threaten to burn, and we do outspeed with I'm skipping the big enough for now. Scarf Crook, because high horsepower with Scarf can be Tapu Koko and Terrakion and Volcanion. It's just playing good chip, and also Intimidate is very useful. And also getting the knockoff damage pretty good too. Close Combat is for Umbreon, and Aqua Tail is for Landorus. Alright, let's move back a bit. You've probably noticed by now. Notice the big white letters that say Tail Whip on Big Nut's moveset. And you may be thinking, Sor, you are clinically insane. Why are you running Tail Whip? This is a serious match. This could cost you playoffs. What are you doing, you insane mother? And then I'll stop you because, hey, we're kid friendly here sometimes, not all the time. Anyway, let's talk about it. So 176, careful. That's to be able to sub on Slowking. So let's look at this. You see it? They got three switch-ins to melmetal. So why am I bringing it? Simple. Thunder Punch, but now Scissor is the big problem. It's probably going to be superpower, so that's what the bulk investment is for. And we can't really break it if it's got max HP, which it probably will. Without our special little secret, Tail Whip. If we get a Tail Whip on it, Double Iron Bash becomes a 2-hit KO rather than a 4-hit KO. And lets us break it. Even the bulky variants with Roost, it lets us break them, and also removes any switch in to the big nut, which is very useful. Carrying on. So yeah, it's a stupid move, and it's probably not going to work, but hot damn, if it works, I'll be very happy. Now, last mon. I should probably get rid of the special attack and make it more bulky, because in the mock, it needed to switch into a lot of hits from Rillaboom and Scizor, and it couldn't do that, so now it's just all defense, which is probably going to be more useful. Now, its moves are Heat Wave, Hurricane, U-Turn, and Sludge Bomb. Sludge Bomb is for Tapu Koko trying to switch in, U-Turn is for general momentum, Heat Wave is for Scizor, obviously, and Hurricane is our stab. Yeah, that's it. That's the team. I'm gonna fight Decker in should be in a bit, and hopefully this strat works. All of these strats. Honestly, the win con is just either killing all the mons that can hurt Shedinja, or chipping everything down with Infernape and Crocodile and Melmetal, so that we can clean up the late game. We're probably gonna have a bit of trouble with Scizor, probably, because if it's max attack, it's going to do a lot of damage, especially if it's running SD and Torn dies, because Torn has to take a lot of hits. Remember, it's got to take hits from Rillaboom and Scizor, and maybe even Landorus, Therian. It's crazy, I'm telling you. Anyway, let's just hope it doesn't all go to shit. And I'll see you, hopefully not too long. All right. Fare thee well, and good luck to me. Hello, and welcome to NCCL Season 6, Week 9. This is the final week before playoffs. We didn't miss Week 8. Our opponent forfeited, so we didn't get to use the funny tech that I had, mainly Tail Whip Melmetal. But anywho, that's sad or whatever, but okay, since the Week 8 video is not going to go up, I just have to remind everyone, we got a new friend, Shedinja. We replaced Probopass with Shedinja. That happened. It was for last week, so it's not going to come this week, but it might come back in playoffs. So, our Week 9 team. So we're going to be fighting Spiral Sanity and the Oxford Old Gods, I think. That's probably right. And this match is very critical. If we lose this match, we're out of playoffs. But if we win, we're in playoffs. So it comes down to this match. Thankfully, Spiral Sanity is... How do I say this? not a very threatening player, and it also has a pretty non-threatening team. Well, let's talk about it, alright? So, his team is Dragapult, Landers, Manaphy, Megabeedrill, Moltres, Galar, Rayquazolt, Tyranitar, Salazzle, Scizor, and Gurdurr. Now, it's a pretty fast team. Salazzle, Dragapult, Landorus, Beedrill, all pretty fast mons. Which is why we're running Scarf Crook this week. It can pursue Trap Dragapult, it can Revenge Kill Beedrill, and other mons like Manaphy and stuff. It's not going to be Moxie. I considered it, but I like having the Intimidate for T-Tar more and Dragapult. It's more useful generally, I think. So this is going to be like the main threat. Also, you may have noticed that his team has no fairy types, which means Regidrago is a must bring. His only dragon is his Scizor, and Regidrago gets Fire Fang. So we're running a physical set, so just Redragon Dance once, and while we can outspeed max speed Beedrill, we can outspeed Dragapult, so Beedrill might even be adamant, so that could be good for us. But just generally, if we get a good setup turn against, like, I don't know, Manaphy, before it sets up a Tail Glow or something, or use Salazzle, or maybe even after a KO, we get this in, we set up a Dragon Dance, and we're basically nigh unstoppable. Now, as you may have noticed, they have Manaphy, which means we need a dedicated wall for it, which is Delmise. Assault Vest is able to live a +3 Ice Beam, and KO back with Power Whip. What else? You know, it's also an EQ to resist for Landorus, which this team desperately needs. We also got P2, which is here to switch into Dragapult, Specs, Physical, whatever it can switch in. It can also handle Landorus maybe, if it comes down to it. Landorus is probably the biggest threat, because EQ and Knockoff goes a long way against this team. But thankfully we got two mons that can outspeed it and threaten it. And even P2, it is no code for getting knocked off, so and it can KO back with Ice Beam. So while we can't really switch into it all that well, we can deal with it. Our next mon is Melmetal. It's our Beedrill switching, and I don't oopsie poopsie. It's probably the mon I'm least confident about, even though it kind of won the mock somehow. I don't know how it did that. It can also switch into T-Tar if need be, like set up a substitute on the out of fear. It's just general metal things. Substitute Double Iron Bash, Thunder Punch, Earthquake. It's probably the mon I'm least confident about on this team, but sometimes you just gotta make do with what you have. Our last mon is Infernape. Now Infernape's very good on here because it outspeeds Landorus, Manaphy, and it has tap for T-Tar and Scizor, which not a lot of the team have. So I'm running a Stealth Rock set because Stealth Rocks is really good this game for Beedrill, for Pert, for Moltres if it's weakness policy, and he doesn't really have any good removal. So chances are if rocks go up, they're going to stay up. Now, Overheat Close Combat with Slack Off as last move. Overheat should just a generally strong move to click, because the only good switch in to it is like bulky Dragapult, Manaphy, and T-Tar. Dragapult is like 2-hit healed by Overheat, Manaphy can take it pretty well, but it can't really take too many close combats. And since it doesn't have reliable healing, I could just switch into Delmise on it. And T-Tar is OHKO'd by close combat, obviously. So yeah, that's the team. This is a pretty crucial battle. We really gotta cross our fingers that we win this one. I have a good feeling about it. Hopefully we still do win. So we're able to just scrape by into playoffs. Anyway, yeah, so I guess I'll see you in the match.
And then the matches never happened. Ba 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 da ba da ba 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 da ba 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 ba.